And this is the AM News. Let's get into the details. 21 demonstrators of the hashtag Stop Galamsey Now protesters have been remanded into prison custody, while 18 of them have been remanded into police custody after appearing before the Accra Circuit Court on charges related to their participation in the anti-illegal mining demonstration. A bench warrant has been issued for one of them, who the police say was released on inquiry bail and failed to appear in court yesterday. Kenneth Jesse was in court and reports.
Well, the building behind me, where about 39 of the protesters of the Stop Galamsey Now were remanded into prison and police custody. Now, about 21 of them were remanded into prison custody, while 18 were remanded into police custody. Now, there's one who a bench warrant has been issued for her arrest because, according to the police, when she was bailed, the condition was that she appears before the court, which she failed to do. Well, one of the lawyers for some of the accused persons did indicate his displeasure with the ruling and vowed to appeal.
2 weeks. But we are going to repeat the appeal again. We are going to appeal against it at the Human Rights Court. And we are sure that within some days we will have them released. Yes, that's because we were given limited time to have conference with our clients. So I'm sure with this, knowing where exactly they are right now, we are going to get their instructions and repeat the application again. And I'm sure it will be granted. We are not satisfied because the main person why I'm here is Felicity Nelson, and she has not been brought to the court. So we have to look for where exactly she is, and I'm sure at the coming days, if we can't find her, we will bring habeas corpus application at the court to get her to be brought to the court. 19 of them have been taken, and 12 of them, their plea have been deferred to the next agenda date, because we raised the concern that they have not been served with the charge sheet. They only surprised us with the charge sheet at the courtroom. So we raised the same point, and the judge agreed with us and adjourned the matter for their plea to be taken. We are only disappointed at the number of days that they have been remanded, and some remanded into prison custody, which is clearly not befitting of people who are protesting for Galamsey.
There were a flurry of emotions when this judgment was passed. And even before this judgment was passed, when most of these protesters were being brought here to this premises, they shouted that they were innocent. Some called on the authorities to do something, saying that we should emancipate ourselves from mental slavery. Lead convener of Democracy Hub, Oliver Bakavomowo, is also expected before the court tomorrow. We will definitely be here to bring you all the fallouts from that hearing as well. From the Accra Circuit Court in Accra, Kenneth Jesse for Joy News.
A member of the legal team for the protesters, Prince Ganaku, has accused the police of seeking to have the protesters detained for a longer period at all costs.
Tell us which court you are going to take them to so that we can come and mount a defense for them. Even that one, they said that they won't tell us. So you have a situation where the police is intentionally abusing the human rights of these persons for no reason other than to punish them for having the audacity to demonstrate against the Galamsey menace that we are all facing in this country. In the hours after they said that they arrested 42, we saw on the internet that another 4 had been arrested. Well, we can estimate that about 46. Now, of that 46, we know the locations of a grand total of about anywhere between 13 to 15. We will have people monitoring the various police stations. So when we see where they are going, then we can hurriedly go and mount a defense and an application for bail for them. Because everything that the police is doing is as though they intend to keep them there by a rough tactic. We have received informal responses from the Deputy Regional Commander of the police in Accra to the extent that if we are looking for the people, we should go and roam the whole of Accra. And if we find them, fine. If we don't find them, fine. As a matter of fact, we sent some of our lawyers to go around the various police stations. And when you go, you can clearly see the protesters there and they tell you that, oh, there's nobody there. Or in the best case scenario, where they are being very charitable, they will tell you that there's an order from above that they shouldn't, let you access, the council, access the person who has been arrested and detained.
In other stories, Professor Ransford Jampo has issued a bold challenge to the government, calling for a rethink of the appointment of party loyalists into key civil service roles without merit. Now, according to him, such appointments erode the core values of political neutrality and trust within the civil service, which are essential to maintaining good governance. There's more in this report.
Speaking on the theme, the Weberian ideal of political neutrality among civil servants, a review of the situation in Ghana at the 7th Nathan Anankwao Excellence Lecture and Awards of CLOSAG, Professor Jampo explained that while civil servants might feel tempted to engage politically, they must prioritize impartiality over partisanship, ensuring the integrity of the public service is preserved.
Evidence abound that regime after regime staffs the civil service with people on the clear basis of party loyalty in a manner that honors the principle of building a politically neutral civil bureaucracy in its breach. Everybody wants to appoint people and staff them into the civil service. So the civil service is pregnant with people who do nothing. The worrying trend is that sometimes this appointment of party full soldiers into the civil servant is not done, or is done without recourse to meritocracy.
Professor Jampo further called for more effort to make the civil servant remain neutral.
But we must do more. Let us push to be sure that all the features outlined by Max Weber in his postulations on the ideal type civil service are realized, and more importantly, let us fight to deal with all the traces and factors that undermine the quest to make the Ghanaian civil service politically neutral. Let us begin to question the appointment and recruitment of civil servants purely on partisan grounds, and let us push for chief directors to be made to rise through the ranks to attain such positions without political hands playing any role.
The head of civil service, Dr. Ivan.
Now let's do some other stories. The Cape Coast Teaching Hospital has received a vital boost in the management of diabetes with a donation of a glycated hemoglobin machine capable of conducting up to 60 tests per hour. The machine, which will significantly enhance the hospital's capacity to manage diabetes, was donated by a company that distributes and supplies medical equipment and devices, pharmaceuticals, healthcare consulting services, medical training and education. Here's Abdullah Osman's report, read to you.
The glycated hemoglobin machine is expected to streamline diabetes management by providing quicker and more accurate results, reducing waiting times, and improving the quality of care for patients. Chief Executive Officer of the hospital, Dr. Eric Kofinjedu, expressed gratitude, noting the impact the machine would have on patient care.
We are very happy to receive this today, especially when we are retooling our equipment base in the institution. This is a very high-level powered machine that will be able to do advanced laboratory tests, which will improve our management of diabetic patients especially. We have some in the hospital, but like I said, we are opening up new services. Very soon, we may be inviting a number of you to look at certain infrastructure that government has built that need to be commissioned. And all this equipment are going to be helpful in the process of operationalization of these facilities.
Central Regional Minister Justina Marigodasan, who led a team for the donation, emphasized the importance of supporting healthcare institutions and expressed the hope that the machine would contribute to better health outcomes for patients in the region.
So it's a very good machine that the hospital really need, because the hospital is expanding and so they are retooling. Very soon they are going to open up additional facilities. So this has come at a very good time, and so the hospital is very grateful. Myself as a minister of the region, very grateful to HECOA, the CEO of HECOA, and we pray that other individuals and organizations will also emulate her good steps and come and show love to the hospital. So this is a unique opportunity for us to appeal to individuals and organizations to come and support us. Government cannot do it all alone, so we need everybody on board so that we can really give health care to the people that we serve.
A laboratory scientist at the Cape Coast Teaching Hospital, Dr. Mokopo Adela gave details on the impact of the machine on the management of diabetes.
The machine is capable of performing 60 glycated hemoglobin within an hour, which means for every minute it will be able to estimate one patient glycated hemoglobin. The machine is very robust and it is capable of helping us as well as the diabetic patients are concerned. The glycated hemoglobin gives an idea of the level of glucose of a person from 3 to 4 months.
Marketing manager of the Healthcare Committee for West Africa explained the enhancement of healthcare is their utmost priority.
We want to enhance healthcare delivery when it comes to the West African sub-region because, as our name says, West Africa. But we've signed a partnership with the Cape Coast Teaching Hospital, and what we want to do is that we want to advance their medical equipment. So we heard from the lab scientists what they said, that their current machine is able to do some few tests in an hour. So in 10 minutes, they're able to do only one test. But today we are here with an automated hemoglobin analyzer, which is able to do a test per minute.
The glycated hemoglobin machine adds to what the hospital already has in the management of diabetes.
Still on health, Kasona Global Imaging, a diagnostic services provider in sub-Saharan Africa, plans to build a one-stop hospital in Ghana to support government efforts in healthcare. CEO John Chibu announced this as a Private Health Facilities Association's AGM in Koforidua, emphasizing the facility will be equipped with advanced diagnostic tools.
The diagnostics imaging equipment distributions firm, which has expanded to Ghana and Nigeria, initially set out to achieve 4 primary goals in Africa. The 4 includes the provision of affordable medical diagnostics and imaging equipment available to healthcare providers in sub-Saharan Africa, establish local engineering and maintenance services for these tools, and provide financial support through credit facilities, making it easier for healthcare providers to acquire diagnostic tools. Addressing this year's AGM, the Chief Executive Officer of Kasona Global Imaging Equipment, John Chibu, says the goals set out could not be complete without building and operating a state-of-the-art hospital, which will be transferred to the government or a private firm.
And that is to be able to build the hospital or the diagnostic center, equip it with our imaging equipment and other equipment, and operate it ourselves. After we have operated it, we recover our money, we turn it over either to the government if it is a PPP, or to a private company if it is a private company that invested.
The AGM created the platform for businesses, healthcare providers, service providers, and policymakers to drive a conversation aimed at providing a paradigm shift in health service delivery. According to him, private health facilities, which forms about 40% of the country's health infrastructure system, to provide primary health care to the people.
They are helping create an alternative to government hospitals because we sell predominantly to private people. Private health association is very important to us. They help us get grassroots messages out, just like we do for them.
On his part, medical director of the Cosmas Damien Hospital in Koforidua and a member of the Private Health Facilities Association, Dr. Damien Akwete, whilst admitting to the improvement in the payment of claims by the National Health Insurance Authority, admonished the authority to sustain the success.
Insurance, we operate with National Health Insurance and then private health insurances. Their payment regimes are not too okay. We are told things are getting better by the year, and we hope so that things go on well. But basically, there may be delay in reimbursement, and this goes a long way to affect the smooth running of the facilities.
Reporting for Joy News, Kofi Sian, Koforidua.
The Dean of the Business School at the University of Cape Coast has urged credit unions to adopt effective management strategies to protect members' savings amid rising income volatility and inequality. Professor John Jachi emphasized the need for credit unions to provide member-friendly access to credit while safeguarding their financial interests. Speaking at the 50th anniversary celebration of the Ogwa Teachers Cooperative Credit Union, Professor Gachi highlighted the importance of data literacy, innovative leadership, and disciplined management in navigating the challenges and opportunities of the 21st century.
The Dean of the University of Cape Coast School of Business, Professor John Gachi, referenced a recent report by the Bank of Ghana detailing fraud in the banking sector involving some employees. Professor Gachi urged credit unions to take this as a warning, recommending the intensification of staff orientation and careful scrutiny during recruitment.
Managers of credit unions are expected to sharpen their skills to manage well as the 21st century is replete with unthinkable challenges and opportunities. Data literacy management skills and innovative and disciplined leadership cannot be taken for granted. The Bank of Ghana has published an alarming but important report about fraud in the banking sector involving some employees. This should signal to the management of credit unions to intensify orientation for existing staff and be more critical when recruiting new staff. We are in a time when income volatility and inequality are pronounced. Therefore, the expectation is that credit unions should deploy efficient management experiences to protect members' savings and make accessing credit by members friendly.
Chairperson of the Ogwa Teachers Credit Union, Eunice Mary Yeboah, outlined some of the innovative measures put in place in their bid to grow the resources of their members.
Technology is growing, and our activities should commensurate with that of the activities that are the technological advancement that we are getting. So we have introduced a lot of products. You being in your house, you can call the manager and you apply for loan. You have to come, in some years, you would have to wait for a week or two. But now we are saying that within 72 hours, you should be able to get your loan approved for you. We are also sending messages, whatever transaction that you make, you get an alert on your phone. We are introducing a lot of things that we are trusting that 50 years to come, a lot of other products will come in. We are also thinking about retirement package for those who have retired. We have realized that those who retire, they can't do much savings. We are encouraging everybody, as you retire, you continue to save, and you have special packages for them as well.
Retired educationist Sarah Swart encouraged members of the credit unions to make savings one of their priorities.
It is a time for us to take our savings seriously. We should also strive to increase the amount from time to time. So this is the time you save your money, put the money into savings, and save it at Ogwa Teachers.
The 50th anniversary cake was cut to mark the anniversary.
The United Nations Sustainable Development Goals have often seemed abstract and distant to many Ghanaians, particularly to the general public. In an effort to enhance public understanding as the country races against time to meet the goals, an architect and lecturer at the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology has created local symbols and interpretations for each of the SDGs. These locally inspired representations aim to make the goals more relatable and accessible to all Ghanaians. Emmanuel Bright-Kweku has more.
17 unique goals to be achieved globally by countries under the United Nations for a sustainably developed world. Ghana, like many countries who signed this treaty, have more to accomplish before the 2030 targeted deadline. But are people even aware of these goals?
no poverty, quality education, clean and affordable energy.
I maintain that.
TV so.
This level of low awareness confirms a 2023 research on examining the level of public awareness on the Sustainable Development Goals in Africa. It revealed some Ghanaians knew about Goal 1 to 4 of the SDGs, but generally awareness of the global goals was low. Out of the numerous languages of the world, the SDG symbols are only transcribed into 6 dialects. But researchers in Ghana are adopting the local arts and meanings from the Adinkra symbols to represent the goals. Known as Adinkra texture, the 17 designs were selected from the over 96 known Adinkra symbols and localized into the Ghanaian parlance for a more comprehensive description while clamoring for action. Professor Rexford Asase-Opong is the brain behind the piece.
One of the key things about sustainability is your ability or our capability and ability to appreciate our culture and bring culture into it. Sustainability is about people. It's about development.
The Adinkra symbol, despite being artistic, has meanings which communicates.
Adinkra symbols Jinyami womu fonton from Sankofa. Sankofa nature say, I say adie bia wapo ana etwem na wasan ko achi asan akofa.
Health and well-being basically is abstract. But if you bring it to our local system and you are showing a symbol of ahoden to the local person, he will know that if I have strength, if I have ahoden, I'll be able to work and also reduce poverty.
The SDGs remain an abstractive subject, and many individuals are closely vulnerable to the vagaries of the implications of environmental sustainability. Professor Asase-Opong says little has been done to include the vulnerable in the global conversations, as it has only been for the intellectuals.
One thing that all these 9 years we have done with the SDGs is to put it in the sphere of intellectuals, without bringing it to, so to speak, the ordinary person. For the ordinary person to understand that this is what I need to do to bring climate action, to a point.
There is a call for the incorporation of the symbology in the local curriculum to expose children to climate action and environmental sustainability. For Joy News, my name is Emmanuel Bright Kweku.
Benjamin Akakpo is serving you business updates next.
Welcome aboard our business updates. Now, economist Professor Patrick Esuming says the marginal decline in the country's trade surplus for Q2 shows the economy is still facing some serious issues. Now, despite signs of recovery, he is of the view that the country has failed to diversify its export base, hence the drop in the value of exports. Reacting to the development, Professor Esuming said the trade figures did not look too good to be excited about. He, however, called for a diversification of the economy to boost exports.
Government gives us exchange rates every week. They use their own exchange rate. They quote in dollars, which is even against Bank of Ghana law. And then they convert it with their own exchange rate, which is way higher than what the bank. In fact, it's higher than what is on the black market. This is not acceptable. This and among others that we are saying that enough is enough. We have been complaining to all authorities, the necessary authorities, the appropriate authorities that has to do with these issues. Nothing is being done over 3 decades.
When we look at these trade statistics, we want to see evidence that we are diversifying our export base, because the gold increase, the increase in our gold export. Don't forget that new large gold mines have come on stream. So it's not like we are doing something extremely wonderful. That is why gold continue to record a lot. But if you look at a category like other exports, which is away from our non-traditional exports. You see that between this corresponding quarter this year and last year, the share has declined. That tells us that we are not really diversifying as we are supposed to. So if you look at figure 4 on the share of exports from various sources, you realize that the other exports, which mostly represent our non-traditional exports, they have declined. And then also you see that in terms of our exposure, you know, our sources of export or where we are exporting to, we really haven't diversified that as well. And then our sources of import, we are concentrating more of our import and export in the same countries, which poses a longer term risk. So we haven't seen the diversification that we want to see in terms of our exporting activity, and then also the kind of reduction in import that we want to see.
Now, freight forwarders in the country are accusing port authorities and shipping lines of contributing to the current pressure on the Ghana cedi. They are accusing them of quoting exchange rates way higher than what has been approved. They are therefore calling on the Bank of Ghana to move in now to deal with the challenge. Nana Isiaba Pepra is Vice President of the Freight Forwarders Association.
Government gives us exchange rates every week. They use their own exchange rate. They quote in dollars, which is even against Bank of Ghana law. And then they convert it with their own exchange rate, which is way higher than what the bank. In fact, it's higher than what is on the black market. This is not acceptable. This and among others that we are saying that enough is enough. We have been complaining to all authorities, the necessary authorities, the appropriate authorities that has to do with these issues. Nothing is being done over 3 decades. But today, in fact, we did this to let them know that we have given them 2 weeks. And then see the effect of what we have done. If they don't, we will take it to the next level.
And that's how we cap off our business updates for today. And I'm handing over back to Sweetie Abochi.
And that is a wrap for the AM News Bulletin on the AM Show. You want to stay with us because you know now the conversations begin, starting with our news review. We'll be right back.